You are sitting at your desk with a textbook open, notes scattered everywhere, and a highlighter in your hand. You have been reading the same paragraph for the last 10 minutes. Nothing is sticking. Your brain feels like it is running on 2% battery. You check your phone. 30 minutes disappear. You come back to the book and now you feel guilty on top of feeling drained. So you try harder. You squeeze your eyes shut, reread the paragraph one more time and still nothing. You tell yourself you will wake up early tomorrow and fix everything. But tomorrow comes and it is the exact same cycle all over again. You start wondering what is wrong with you. You see other people learning things fast, scoring high, absorbing information like sponges, and you are sitting there forgetting what you read 5 minutes ago. You feel behind. You feel frustrated. And honestly, you feel a little broken. But here is the thing. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not even bad at learning. You are just using the wrong method. And it is not your fault because nobody ever taught you the right one. What if I told you there is a learning protocol so effective that intelligence agencies around the world use versions of it to train their operatives to learn new languages in weeks, absorb complex information under pressure, and recall critical details on demand? And no, this is not some classified military secret anymore. The science behind it is wide open. You just have never been shown how to use it. That is exactly what this video is going to give you. Not some motivational speech about studying harder. An actual system. A method backed by how your brain genuinely works. And if you stick around until the end, you will walk away with something most students will never have. A real mental edge. So let me ask you something. How do you currently study? If you are like most students, you probably sit down, open the material, read through it, maybe highlight some lines, maybe copy notes word for word, and then hope it stays in your brain long enough to survive the exam. And when it does not work, you blame yourself. You think you need more hours, more discipline, more willpower. But here is the truth. The problem was never how many hours you put in. The problem is how your brain was processing the information during those hours. Think of it like this. Imagine you are trying to fill a bucket with water, but the bucket has holes in the bottom. You can pour water faster. You can get a bigger hose. But until you fix the holes, most of that water is leaking out. That is what traditional studying does. You are pouring information into a leaky system. And willpower is not the answer either. Willpower is a limited resource. Every decision you make during the day drains it. By the time you sit down to study in the evening, your willpower tank is nearly empty. So relying on motivation or discipline alone to force yourself through bad study methods is like running a car on fumes and wondering why you are not going anywhere. This is why most students burn out. They are working hard inside a broken system. And no amount of effort fixes a broken system. What fixes it is replacing the system entirely. So let me show you what that replacement looks like. This is the protocol. And once you understand it, studying will never feel the same again. The first part of this protocol is something intelligence trainers call retrieval practice. You probably know it by another name. Active recall. But most students do the exact opposite. They read passively. They highlight. They copy notes into prettier notes. And it feels productive because your hands are busy and your eyes are moving. But your brain is barely doing anything. It is just recognizing information, not actually learning it. Here is the difference. Recognition is when you see something and think, oh yeah, I know that. Recall is when you close the book and force your brain to pull the information out of nowhere. That second one is uncomfortable. It feels harder. And that is exactly why it works. Intelligence operatives are not trained by reading manuals over and over. They are given information and then immediately tested on it. No notes in front of them. No safety net. Just raw retrieval under pressure. Because the brain does not store what it passively receives. It stores what it actively struggles to remember. So here is your correction. After you read a section of your textbook or watch a lecture, close everything. Put it away. Then ask yourself, what did I just learn? Say it out loud or write it from memory. It will feel messy at first. You will forget things. That is the point. That struggle is your brain building stronger connections. A student who reads a chapter once and recalls it 3 times will destroy a student who reads the same chapter 5 times passively. Every single time. The second piece of this protocol is about timing. Specifically when you review information. Most students do what is called massed practice. They cram everything into one long session right before the exam. And it works just enough to pass, but then 2 weeks later the information is completely gone. Your brain treated it as short-term noise and threw it out. Intelligence agencies cannot afford that. An operative who forgets a critical detail in the field does not get a second chance. So their training is built around spaced repetition. You review information at strategically increasing intervals. You study something today, then you review it tomorrow, then 3 days later, then a week later. Each time, the memory fades just enough that recalling it again forces your brain to strengthen the connection permanently. Think about it this way. Your brain is constantly deciding what to keep and what to delete. When you see the same information only once, your brain labels it unimportant. But when it keeps showing up, especially right at the moment you are about to forget it, your brain goes, okay, this must matter, and locks it in deeper. You do not need a fancy app for this. A simple notebook works. Write the date you learned something. Review it the next day. Then skip 2 days. Then skip 5. You will be shocked at how much more you retain with less total study time. Now here is where the psychology gets interesting and where this protocol really separates itself. Your brain operates on something called the forgetting curve. A German psychologist named Ebbinghaus discovered it over 100 years ago. Basically, within 1 hour of learning something new, you forget about 50% of it. Within 24 hours, you lose around 70%. Within a week, almost all of it is gone. That sounds terrifying, but it is actually the key to everything. Because if you intervene at the right moments along that curve with active recall, you flatten it. You slow the forgetting down until eventually the information moves into long-term memory almost permanently. Intelligence training programs are essentially built around hacking this curve over and over again. And now you know how to do the same thing. The third piece of the protocol is interleaving. Most students study one subject for hours and then switch. But research shows that mixing up topics within a single session actually forces your brain to work harder to distinguish between concepts. That extra effort creates deeper understanding. So instead of 3 straight hours of biology, try 1 hour of biology, 1 hour of math, then 30 minutes of biology again. Your brain has to re-engage each time. And that re-engagement is where real learning happens. Now before you go and try to implement all of this for 12 hours straight starting tomorrow at 4 in the morning, let me stop you. Because this is where most students self-destruct. They find a system that works, they get excited, and they try to go from zero to elite overnight. They tell themselves they will study 10 or 14 hours a day. They will wake up before sunrise. They will cut out everything fun. And it works for about 3 days. Then they crash. They miss 1 day and feel like a failure. They compare themselves to people online who claim to study all day every day and they feel pathetic by comparison. Let me be very clear with you. Those people are either lying or heading toward a burnout so hard they will not recover for months. Consistency is not about intensity. It is about repetition. 3 focused hours using this protocol will give you better results than 10 hours of passive reading fueled by energy drinks and self-hatred. That is not an exaggeration. That is what the science shows over and over again. And if you miss a day, that does not erase your progress. You do not restart from zero. That is not how your brain works. You just pick up where you left off. No guilt. No dramatic restart Monday. You simply continue. The students who win long-term are not the ones who go the hardest. They are the ones who keep going after they stumble. Perfectionism is not discipline. It is a trap. And falling for it will cost you more than any lazy day ever could. So let me pull this whole protocol together for you so it is crystal clear. Step 1 is active recall. After every study session, close your materials and force yourself to retrieve what you just learned from memory. No peeking. The struggle is the point. Step 2 is spaced repetition. Review what you learned at increasing intervals. Day 1, Day 2, Day 5, Day 12. Catch the information right before it disappears and your brain will lock it in permanently. Step 3 is interleaving. Mix subjects within your study sessions instead of grinding one topic for hours. The constant switching forces deeper processing and stronger understanding. Step 4 is protecting your consistency. Keep sessions short and focused. 3 hours with this protocol beats 10 hours of passive reading. If you miss a day, keep moving. No guilt. No restart. Just continue. That is the system. 4 pieces. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring superhuman discipline. Just a smarter way to use the brain you already have. Now here is what I want you to understand. You are not behind because you are not smart enough. You are behind because you were handed a broken method and told to try harder within it. Today that changes. You now have something most students will go their entire academic life without discovering. But only if you actually use it. Not tomorrow. Not next Monday. Today. Even if it is just 20 minutes of active recall on one topic. That is enough to start. If this gave you something real, if it shifted something in how you think about learning, subscribe. Not because I am asking for a favor, but because this channel is built for exactly this. Giving you the tools that actually work while everyone else is stuck recycling the same advice that does not. Hit like so this reaches another student who is right now sitting at their desk rereading the same paragraph for the 10th time, wondering what is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with them. They just have not found this yet. You did. Now do something with it.